Have you ever wondered how beer became a cornerstone of American culture? Our story begins in the early 19th century with the arrival of German immigrants on American shores. Armed with their age-old brewing techniques, these immigrants transformed beer from a home-brewed necessity into a commercial powerhouse. What was once brewed in small batches for family consumption began to bubble over into a full-blown industry, and it wasn't just any beer that captured the American palate. It was the Golden Lager, a smooth, crisp brew that quickly became the drink of choice. The brewing landscape was not without its competition, however. Brewing barons like Busch, Pabst, and Schlitz rose to prominence, each with their own unique brew, battling for supremacy in this burgeoning industry. The tale of American beer is, in many ways, the tale of America itself, steeped in innovation, ambition, and a thirst for something better. Enter Adolphus Busch, a German immigrant with a dream of brewing greatness. Born in the mid-19th century in the Mainz region of Germany, Busch was the 21st of 22 children. His father was a prosperous winery and brewery supplier, so you could say, the passion for brewing was in his blood. Busch immigrated to America in his late teens, filled with ambition and a drive to succeed. His early years in the land of opportunity were not easy. He arrived in New Orleans and moved to St. Louis, a city bustling with German immigrants and brimming with opportunity. It was here that he entered the brewing industry, a move that would change the American beer landscape forever. He married Lily Anheuser, the daughter of Eberhard Anheuser, a prosperous soap manufacturer who had recently invested in a struggling brewery. This was the starting point of a brewing legacy. Busch, with his innovative approach, keen business sense, and relentless determination, transformed this failing brewery into what we now know as Anheuser-Busch, the makers of Budweiser. Busch was not just a brewer, he was an inventor. It was his idea to use refrigerated railroad cars for beer transportation, a game-changing move that allowed the company to distribute its beer nationwide. He was also the first to pasteurize beer, extending its shelf life and ensuring its quality. Adolphus Busch was a man of the people. He understood that beer was more than just a beverage to the working-class American. It was a symbol of camaraderie, a reward for hard work, a staple at celebrations. He knew that to win the hearts of Americans, he had to create a beer that was consistent in taste and quality, a beer that the common man could rely on. And that's just what he did. Adolphus Busch was not just a brewer, he was a visionary, a man who saw the golden potential in every pint. His journey from a German immigrant to a brewing magnate is a testament to his ambition, innovation, and sheer will. His legacy lives on, not just in every can of Budweiser, but in the spirit of the American beer industry itself. But Busch was not alone in his brewing ambitions. As the American beer landscape was transforming, other brewing titans, like Pabst and Schlitz, were also rising to prominence. Pabst, the brainchild of Jacob Best and later his son-in-law Frederick Pabst, began as a small brewing operation in the mid-19th century. It was Frederick's entrepreneurial spirit that propelled Pabst to national acclaim. With a focus on quality, Pabst went on to win the highly coveted Blue Ribbon, becoming the symbol of the company and the namesake of its most popular beer, Pabst Blue Ribbon. Meanwhile, the Schlitz brand was making its own waves. The tragic demise of August Krug left his brewery in the hands of his bookkeeper, Joseph Schlitz. Schlitz, a skilled brewer in his own right, took the reins and navigated the company through the tumultuous beer market of the late 19th century. It was Schlitz's go-for-broke attitude that led to innovations like the brown bottle, which kept beer fresher for longer and allowed for wider distribution. The brewing supremacy among these beer barons was a fierce competition. Each had their own unique methods and strategies for brewing, distribution, and marketing, but they all shared a common goal: to quench the thirst of a nation with their golden lagers. Their rivalry was not just about market shares and profits, it was about shaping the American beer landscape, about leaving a legacy that would endure for centuries. Each brewing giant had its own tale of ambition and innovation. They pushed the boundaries of what was possible in brewing, introducing new techniques and technologies that would change the industry forever. These brewing giants, Busch, Pabst, and Schlitz, were more than just beer barons. They were pioneers, visionaries who saw the potential of American beer and seized it. They transformed a simple staple into a cultural icon, and in doing so, they transformed themselves into legends. In the world of beer, it was survival of the frothiest. Success in the brewing industry required more than a good brew. It required strategic moves, calculated risks, and an irrepressible spirit of innovation. So let's take a moment to appreciate the chess game that was the American beer industry in its formative years. Busch, Pabst, and Schlitz didn't just become brewing giants overnight. They were pioneers, innovators, and, most importantly, strategists. They understood that while brewing a quality beer was crucial, it wasn't enough. They needed to get their beer into the hands of the people, and that required a strategic approach to marketing and distribution. Innovation was a key driver of their success. They were constantly experimenting, refining, and improving their brewing processes. They were not afraid to embrace new technologies or to challenge the status quo. From introducing refrigerated rail cars to pioneering pasteurization in beer, they were always on the cutting edge, always looking to the future. Marketing, too, played an enormous role. These beer barons knew the power of a brand. They understood that a strong brand identity could inspire loyalty, and loyalty meant repeat customers. So they invested in their brands, creating iconic logos and catchy slogans that are still recognized today. They sponsored events, supported local communities, and made their names synonymous with quality and tradition. But perhaps the most strategic move of all was their approach to distribution. They built vast networks of breweries and distribution centers that spanned the country, ensuring their beers were always available, always fresh, and always top of mind for consumers. They understood that in the brewing industry, accessibility was just as important as quality. Through these strategic moves, these brewing giants didn't just carve out their place in the market, they shaped the market itself, setting trends and defining standards that would influence the industry for generations to come. These brewing giants didn't just make beer, they made history. And in doing so, they left an indelible mark on the American cultural landscape, forever intertwining their names with the story of beer in America. Beer is more than a beverage in America. It's part of the national identity. It's the drink of choice at picnics and parades, in stadiums and saloons, adding a spark of conviviality to our gatherings, big and small. From the crack of a can at a tailgate party to the clink of pint glasses at a local pub, beer is woven into the fabric of our social tapestry. Beyond its social role, beer has even left its mark on the political landscape. It's been the subject of legislation and taxation, and even aided in the transition of power, with candidates using beer halls as campaign stomping grounds. From the hands of German immigrants to the lips of millions, these amber waves of grain have swelled into a symbol of unity, a common thread that binds a nation of diverse backgrounds and beliefs. Beer has been, and continues to be, a unifying force in a diverse nation. To Busch, Pabst, and Schlitz, we raise a glass. These beer barons, these architects of effervescence, were not just brewers but pioneers. They transformed the American beer landscape, one golden lager at a time. Their journey, marked by innovation and ambition, has left an indelible mark on American culture. From the 19th century, these brewing giants have been the yeast that leavened America's love for beer. Their strategic moves, their relentless pursuit of brewing supremacy, have given us the gift of choice, of variety, of flavor. They've given us more than just beer. They've given us a shared history, a common bond, and countless toasts to remember. So, let's raise our glasses high to these men who dared to dream, who dared to brew. Let's honor their legacy, their contribution to the American beer industry, and their impact on our lives. Here's to the beer barons, the men who brewed a nation. Our journey through the history of American beer doesn't have to end here. This tale of ambition, innovation, and the transformative power of a well-brewed pint is as rich and complex as the beers we've explored. From the early German immigrants to the rise of brewing giants like Busch, Pabst, and Schlitz, we've only just tapped the keg of this compelling narrative. There's a world of flavors, stories, and characters waiting to be uncovered, and we're just the ones to do it. So why not join us as we continue to delve into the captivating chronicles of beer, its makers, and its impact? We'll journey across centuries, continents, and cultures, all in the name of a good story. Remember to like, subscribe, and comment with topics you'd like to hear about next. Your input shapes our journey, and we're excited to explore where your curiosity will take us. Until next time, cheers.